Okay, so my life in the city just detonated, like a freaking bomb went off in my chest. A few weeks ago, total chaos out of nowhere. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the damage, the fallout, everything. I thought I had it made, you know. Living in Brooklyn, killer apartment, killer boyfriend, Mark. We were building something, a real New York love story, or so I thought. Solid, stable, going somewhere amazing. I trusted him, completely, blindly, like a fool. Turns out trust in this city is like walking on thin ice. One wrong step and bam, you're crashing through into freezing water. And that's exactly what happened. My trust shattered, exploded, leaving me here, in my tiny apartment, staring at the skyline, trying to piece my heart and my life back together. Seriously, if you told me a month ago I'd be here, in this mess, trying to process this level of betrayal, I would have laughed in your face. Thought I was too smart, too together, too New York for this kind of drama. Guess karma has a wicked sense of humor, huh? It started subtly, like a whisper in a crowded subway car, easy to miss if you weren't paying attention. Mark started to change, almost so gradually you wouldn't notice unless you were living inside it, day in and day out. He got distant, you know, like he was physically here in our brownstone, but mentally checked out, somewhere else, some other borough, some other world. Less affectionate, no more spontaneous hugs in the kitchen. No more hand-holding walking through Central Park. Our conversations, once electric, full of late-night talks about dreams and fears and everything in between, turned flat, dull, like stale bagels. He was always distracted, eyes glued to his phone, even when I was talking, like my words were just background noise, not important enough to pull him away from whatever was buzzing on that screen. I tried to play it cool, you know? New York tough. Told myself it was just work stress, Wall Street pressure, the usual city grind. Or maybe it was something else, something personal, something that had nothing to do with us. Relationships have their ups and downs, right? Like the stock market, peaks and valleys. That's what I kept repeating in my head, like a broken record, trying to convince myself it was just a temporary dip, a minor blip. But deep down, way down in my gut, a little alarm was going off, a tiny siren in the chaos of the city. Something wasn't right, that nagging feeling, that instinct, that little voice whispering in the back of my mind. It wouldn't shut up. Something was off, seriously off. But I was still in denial, walking around in a fog, hoping it would just magically disappear. I tried to ignore it, shoved it down, buried it under layers of work and city noise and distractions, told myself to chill. It was all in my head, but it wasn't. But it just got louder, stronger, like the subway rumbling under your feet, vibrating through your bones. That unease grew, heavier every day, like a lead weight in my stomach. Something was wrong, seriously wrong. I knew it, but I was still clueless, walking around blindfolded, heading straight for a brick wall. Then, bam, the wall. It hit me. Hard. One random Tuesday night, just scrolling through Instagram, you know, procrastinating instead of working on that pitch deck. My best friend Chloe had posted a story. Just a bunch of blurry snaps from some party. A rooftop party in Soho, all glittering city lights and champagne flutes. A party I couldn't make because of a last-minute client dinner, some corporate BS I couldn't get out of, whatever. Anyway, there it was, Chloe's story flashing across my screen. A bunch of laughing faces, city views, party vibes. And then I saw it. Stopped scrolling. Froze. My breath hitched. There was Chloe, beaming, radiant, looking all Manhattan fabulous in a killer little black dress. And right next to her, leaning in close, whispering something in her ear, Mark. My Mark. They were standing together, too close. Way too close for just friends, for just acquaintances at a crowded party, leaning into each other, heads almost touching, laughing, sharing some private joke I wasn't in on. And the way he was looking at her, it wasn't just friendly. It wasn't just polite party chatter. There was something else there, something intimate, something charged, something that made my blood run cold. It was like a physical punch, a sucker punch to the solar plexus, knocked the wind right out of me. I stared at that photo, frozen, my phone screen burning into my retinas, my heart hammering against my ribs. My stomach churned, twisted like I'd swallowed a handful of nails. I tried to rationalize it, of course. New Yorker in me, always looking for the logical explanation. Maybe it was just a bad angle. Maybe I was just tired, stressed, seeing things that weren't there. Maybe I was just being paranoid, insecure, reading way too much into a blurry Instagram photo. But I couldn't. I couldn't shake this icy feeling that was creeping up my spine, spreading through my veins. This cold, hard certainty that something was terribly, irrevocably wrong. Too many puzzle pieces, scattered for weeks, months maybe, suddenly snapped into place, forming a picture I didn't want to see, but couldn't deny anymore. Mark's weird behavior, the distance, the phone obsession, the emotional disconnect, now this photo. It was like all the little red flags I'd been ignoring, all the warning signs I'd been dismissing, suddenly started waving frantically, screaming in my face. That photo wasn't just a party snapshot. It wasn't just innocent fun. It was a clue, a smoking gun, a neon sign flashing betrayal in bright, bold letters, pointing straight to the ugly truth I was desperately trying to avoid. Anxiety coiled in my gut, tight as a spring, keeping me up all night. Sleep became a battlefield, a constant fight against racing thoughts, against the endless replay of that damn photo in my head. I was tossing and turning in my bed, staring at the ceiling, the city lights painting shadows on the walls, the silence amplifying the turmoil in my mind. I felt sick, literally nauseous with dread. Finally, I cracked. I couldn't take it anymore. The uncertainty, the suspicion, the gnawing feeling that my life was crumbling around me. I had to know. I had to confront it. Rip off the Band-Aid, face the music, even if it was the last thing I wanted to do, even if the truth was going to shatter everything I thought I knew, everything I held dear, even if it meant my perfect New York life was about to explode in my face. So, I did it. Took a deep breath, swallowed my fear, and went for it. I waited for him to get home from work. The longest, most agonizing wait of my life. Pacing around our apartment like a caged animal, rehearsing what I was going to say, trying to keep my voice steady, my hands from shaking. When he finally walked through the door, all smiles and city-weary charm, I pounced. No small talk, no pleasantries, no pretending everything was normal when it so clearly wasn't. I showed him the photo. Threw my phone down on the coffee table, the image of him and Chloe grinning back at us, accusatory, undeniable. I asked him, point blank, about the party, about Chloe, about what the hell was going on in that picture. He played it cool at first, classic New York poker face, all innocent confusion, wide-eyed surprise, like he had no idea what I was talking about. Brushed it off like it was nothing, a harmless photo, a friendly moment, completely innocent. Said I was imagining things, being dramatic, blowing it way out of proportion. Typical gaslighting trying to make me feel crazy, like I was the one with the problem, the one seeing things that weren't there. For a split second, a flicker of doubt. I actually questioned myself. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was just overreacting, letting my insecurities run wild. Maybe it was just a harmless photo, nothing more. But then that gut feeling roared back, louder than ever, drowning out the doubt, silencing the excuses. No, something was definitely wrong. My gut had been screaming at me for weeks, months maybe, and I was finally listening. I pushed back. I didn't let him off the hook. I stood my ground, my voice trembling but firm, my eyes locked on his, demanding answers. I kept asking, kept pressing, kept digging, peeling back the layers of denial, the carefully constructed facade. The tension in our living room was thick enough to cut with a knife. You could feel it crackling in the air, suffocating us both. It felt like hours, an eternity of tense silence, deflected questions, half-truths, and carefully constructed lies. A slow, agonizing torture of suspicion and denial. Finally, his perfect New York composure cracked. His eyes flickered away from mine, darting around the room, avoiding my gaze, searching for an escape route that wasn't there. His breathing got shallow, rapid. And then the words came tumbling out, broken, hesitant, but they came. He confessed. He admitted it. Right there, in our apartment, overlooking the Brooklyn Bridge, in the middle of our life, he dropped the bomb. He slept with Chloe at that rooftop party. My best friend, my boyfriend, together. Those words, just hearing them, raw and brutal, it was like a physical assault, like someone had punched me in the chest, winded me, stolen my breath, like my heart had stopped beating, then shattered into a million pieces, sharp shards of glass tearing through my insides, shattered. I felt like I was falling, plummeting down an elevator shaft, into a black abyss, everything spinning, distorted, nothing making sense anymore. The room swayed, the city lights blurred, my ears were ringing. He tried to explain, of course. The pathetic, predictable excuses. Said it was a mistake, a drunken lapse in judgment, fueled by too much tequila and city lights. One-time thing, he swore, eyes pleading, voice trembling. Regretted it instantly, he claimed, drowning in guilt, tortured by remorse. Said he was eaten up with guilt, didn't know how to tell me, was afraid of losing me. Blah, blah, blah. Excuses, lies, pathetic attempts at justification. It didn't matter. None of it could erase the words, undo the betrayal, mend the gaping hole ripped open in my heart. My world just imploded, collapsed in on itself, leaving me buried under the rubble. Everything I thought was real, everything I believed in, Our relationship, our future, our life together just vanished. Poof, gone, erased like graffiti in a New York rainstorm. I couldn't believe it. Still can't some days. Not Mark, not Chloe. The two people I trusted most in the entire damn city. They did this. To me. Together. It was like some twisted, sick joke. Some bizarre New York nightmare I couldn't wake up from. Blindsided. Completely and utterly devastated. How could they? How could they do this to me? After everything we shared, everything we built, everything I thought we had, since that moment, since those words ripped through the air and tore my life apart, it's been a tsunami of emotions, a relentless storm raging inside me. 1 minute I'm drowning in sadness, heartbroken, betrayed, like I'm suffocating under the weight of it all, like I'm never going to breathe again, never going to feel joy again. The next minute, pure, white-hot rage, furious, wanting to scream, to lash out, to destroy something, anything, to make them feel even a fraction of the agonizing pain I'm feeling. I trusted them both with everything. My heart, my soul, my deepest secrets, my rawest vulnerabilities. I opened myself up completely, laid myself bare, and they stomped all over it, shredded it to pieces, with zero regard for my feelings, for our history, for our future. Betrayal like this. It's a whole different level of pain, a different dimension of hurt. It's not just losing a boyfriend. It's not just losing a friend. It's like losing two vital parts of yourself, two pillars of your life, crumbling to dust. It's like losing two people at once, two of the most important relationships in my life, the cornerstones of my New York existence, just gone, vaporized, leaving behind only ashes and a gaping void where trust and love used to be. Now I'm standing here in the ruins of my life, at this goddamn crossroads, staring down two different paths, both shrouded in fog, both leading into darkness, and I have no freaking clue which way to go. My relationship with Mark, it's toxic waste, radioactive, damaged beyond repair, I think. I fear, I know. The trust, the bedrock of any relationship, especially a New York relationship, the foundation we painstakingly built on, brick by brick over years, it's just disintegrated, vaporized, gone. Can you rebuild trust after something like this? After a betrayal that cuts this deep, that shatters you this completely? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think so. Part of me, a tiny, stupid, hopelessly romantic, maybe delusional part of me, clings to a sliver of hope, wonders if we could salvage something, some semblance of what we had. If there's any chance for forgiveness, for healing, for somehow, miraculously, piecing things back together. But then the other part, the bigger, louder, more rational, more New York cynical part, screams, no, absolutely not, impossible. I can't even look at him without feeling sick, without feeling a wave of revulsion wash over me. The betrayal is so deep, so raw, so visceral. I don't know if I could ever truly move past it, ever truly forgive, even if I desperately wanted to. And honestly, right now, forgiveness feels like a luxury I can't afford, a weakness I can't indulge. And Chloe, My best friend since college. My roommate in that cramped East Village apartment. My confidant through every heartbreak and triumph. My partner in crime in countless New York adventures. Chloe. Now she's just a ghost, a phantom, a name I can barely utter without feeling a wave of nausea, a knot of anger tightening in my stomach. Someone I can barely think about without wanting to scream, to cry, to break down completely. How could she? How could she do this to me? After all our years of friendship, all our shared secrets, all our promises of always being there for each other no matter what, how could she betray me like this? With Mark, knowing how much I loved him, how much he meant to me, how much our relationship was everything to me. I keep replaying our friendship in my head, going back through every memory, every conversation, every drunken brunch and late-night phone call, trying to find some clue, some sign I missed, some indication that she was capable of this level of treachery. Was it all a lie? Was our friendship fake? Was she secretly jealous of me, resentful of my happiness? Was I just completely blind, totally clueless, naive to the darkness lurking beneath the surface of our seemingly perfect friendship? Or was this just some random, out-of-character, drunken mistake, a moment of weakness, a lapse in judgment fueled by party vibes and bad decisions? Either way, it doesn't matter. The intention, the motive, the explanation, none of it changes the outcome. The damage is done. Irreversible damage. I don't know if I can ever look at her again, ever speak to her again, ever be in the same room as her again, let alone be friends. The trust I had in her, that deep, unwavering, sister-like trust, is gone. Shattered. Completely and utterly gone. And I don't know. I honestly don't believe I can ever get it back. Some things, once broken, can never be fixed. Some wounds, once inflicted, never truly heal. I've been sitting with these feelings, this tangled mess of betrayal and heartbreak and rage, for weeks now, holed up in my apartment, staring at the city lights, trying to make sense of the senseless, trying to find some direction in the chaos. And I'm still lost, completely lost, still confused, still hurting, like a raw nerve constantly exposed. Part of me, the angry, wounded part, just wants to cut ties with both of them, erase them from my life completely, delete their numbers, block them on social media, pretend they never existed, move to a different borough, a different city, a different country, run away and try to heal on my own, in isolation, away from the reminders, away from the pain. Maybe that's the only way I'll ever find peace again. Just walk away, burn it all down, start over, become a ghost myself. But then another part of me, the weaker, more hesitant, more vulnerable part, the part that still clings to the faintest glimmer of hope, maybe, just maybe, wonders if that's too drastic, too final, too New York dramatic. Should I try to forgive? Is forgiveness even possible after something like this? Can I move forward, carrying this weight of betrayal? Can we move forward, Mark and I, Chloe and I, in some twisted, unimaginable new reality? Is there any hope of mending these broken relationships, of salvaging something from the wreckage? Or will trying just lead to more pain, more heartache, more disappointment, more betrayal down the line? I honestly don't know what to do. I'm paralyzed by indecision, trapped in this emotional limbo, caught between rage and despair, forgiveness and revenge. I'm reaching out, throwing this desperate message into the void, hoping someone out there, someone in this vast, unforgiving city, has been through something similar, has navigated this treacherous terrain of betrayal and heartbreak, and somehow found their way out. I need some direction, some guidance, a lifeline in this emotional storm. Any advice, any insight, any personal experience you can share, any words of wisdom, however harsh or comforting, would mean the world to me right now. I'm searching for clarity, a flicker of light in this overwhelming darkness, a map to navigate this emotional wasteland. But right now, all I see is shadows. Just shadows and the cold, indifferent glare of the New York City skyline.